guys, how are you? How you doing? How you feeling? I hope you are all doing wonderful and getting prepared for Halloween. I know I'm not. I love Halloween. Honestly, I usually have all my stuff together for what I'm gonna be, where I'm gonna go, everything, like down to the T months before, and this year I'm just like, well, yeah, I'm gonna do Halloween. I don't know what I'm gonna wear, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like, it's gonna happen. I have no idea what I'm gonna be. I have nothing. I don't know. Let's just wing it this year. And since it's just around the corner, I thought, what's scarier than being paralyzed in your sleep and seeing scary not being able to move or react or do anything about it? I'm gonna tell you guys a bit about my experiences with sleep paralysis, and if you don't know what sleep paralysis is, it's basically a state where you're between wakefulness and sleepfulness, if that's a word, between awake and being asleep, and you hallucinate. You see things, hear things, feel things that aren't really there, and you can't move your body. You can't, like, you can have your eyes open, because that's how I've experienced it. I haven't seen any of this specified in the definitions that I've found online about sleep paralysis, but you can have your eyes open. And some people have said that they can move their head, but basically the rest of your body, like, you can't do anything. For some reason, I am prone to these. I don't know why, although I think it has something to do with my super duper 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 paranoid state of mind. I am definitely a scaredy cat. If that makes me a coward, so be it, but I don't like being by myself. I don't like being home alone. And at nighttime, I am always like watching my back, like I'm always really, because I'm so vulnerable, like I'm so little. I mean, anyone could just take me and no one would ever know because I'm so small. No one would ever see or hear. It's so easy for me to be scared. Like, I am sensitive, I am vulnerable, handle with care, fragile. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with just fear and being scared and actually struggling to sleep, maybe, due to these fears. So this video is actually pretty hard to make because I'm home alone right now. Like, I'm always scared of being home alone, and I'm usually home alone now because I used to live at my mom's and I was with my brothers and my mom, and now I'm home alone all the time. So I try to avoid scary things and scary movies. Like, I don't allow myself to watch those things just so it doesn't trigger anything in my head when I'm gonna go to sleep. And I don't struggle to sleep because I get really paranoid about stuff. Getting broken into or like getting kidnapped or something is probably my biggest fears ever. I used to live with my mom and my brothers, and it just so happened to be that I was home alone one night and I was having a really hard time to fall asleep. I was just restless, I was tossing and turning. Eventually I did end up going to sleep. And I remember oh, it gives me shivers just thinking about it. I remember laying on my stomach, which I usually don't do. I'm usually like on my side, but I remember laying on my stomach like this and opening my eyes and hearing someone in the hallway. And I always left the light on in the hallway as kind of like a night light, so like people thought there was someone awake if in case someone broke in or something. I don't know my logic there, but anyways, yeah, the light was on, and I remember hearing footsteps in the hallway, and I could see a shadow of a figure like in the hallway, and I'm just laying like this looking over towards the hallway, and I remember just thinking, someone's in here, this is how it's gonna end. And I could not move a muscle. I was like, how is this happening to me? Am I having like a mental breakdown, like a shock? Is my body in shock? I didn't know what sleep paralysis was at this time, so I didn't know what was happening. But I remember trying to lift this arm because this is like I was gonna turn my body around, and I could not get this arm to move. Like, it felt like it was 500 pounds. I could not move. And it was just numb. I was like, what is happening to me? I can't even defend myself against this killer. And then the footsteps stopped. And I looked over, and I just saw this black figure. It didn't have a face. It was just blurry and black. It was like a shadow of just this person. It was clearly a man, and it just stood there staring at me, I guess. And I was just like, it was terrifying. Eventually, it just like faded away into nothing, and I was like, what just happened? And then I was able to finally move my arm and finally turn my body around to lay on my back on my bed, and I remember just thinking, what the At that point, I thought I saw a ghost. Like, I didn't know what to believe. So in the morning, I looked it up, and I'm usually the kind of person that if I have dreams, I look them up online. Like, there's, I think it's called, free promotion over here, A to Z dreams, and it tells you what your dreams mean. Like, if you dream of a horse, it means this. If you dream that someone has a gun, it means this. But for this particular incident, I thought I'd take matters into my own hands and do some research, and I just looked up, like, not being able to move in your sleep or something like that. And then sleep paralysis came up, and I was like, great! That's horrifying. That is the worst. I would not wish this upon my worst enemy. I don't have enemies, but you know what I mean. It is one of the worst things to go through. Especially for someone who's such a scaredy cat as me, like, it was just out of this world. But that wasn't all. That incident, my brothers happened to be away for the weekend or something, and I was home alone and struggled to sleep, obviously, and then that happened. But the second incident, my brothers were home. And I went to sleep fine. I don't remember particularly struggling to get to sleep. But again, I woke up in the middle of the night, not being able to move and hearing footsteps. And this time, it wasn't only the footsteps, but it was my dog barking. And at that point, I was like, I am not hallucinating. My dog is barking. There's someone in here. Like, there's no way this is a joke. This is probably the same person. I was freaking out. But again, it's all in my head. I cannot move. I can't do anything. I think this time I was laying on my back. And again, the same figure walked onto the hallway, stared at me, stood there, and just stared at me. And like, my legs, everything, I was like trying to focus so hard on each part of my body to try to move them, and nothing was happening. At that point, I was just like, Lord, I've been so good. Please forgive me for my sins and open the gates to heaven for me, because here I come. In the news the next morning, girl gets killed in her sleep and didn't even defend herself. So the figure's in the hallway, and it's coming into my room now. And I honestly cannot express how scared and anxious and just, it's really traumatizing to go through that, thinking that there's something in your room that is not actually there. And some people try to believe that, like, maybe it's a ghost or something. I don't really know. I don't want to believe in that kind of stuff, because I'd probably be even more scared than I already am. So this figure comes into my room, steps right beside my bed. Like, I am lying on my back, and here's this figure just right beside me staring at me, and my dog is barking and nothing is happening. I'm wondering why my brothers aren't getting up and seeing why she's barking. She's a little wiener dog, and she barks at literally everything, especially when there's someone at the door or there's someone there that she doesn't know. So that's why it was so scary to me too, that, like, it was my dog too, but I guess I was just hallucinating that too. And I'm just staring right at this thing, and it's dark in my room, so I just see a shadow, and the shadow is just getting darker and darker and closer, and it's like reaching for me like this. And at that point, the fear was just gone, and I was just like, do it. Take me. What you gonna do? I ain't scared no more. I've been scared. I'm done being scared. Just take me. Take me to the Lord. And then, poof, gone. Like, how? I just saw that. I just heard that. I could not move. So that was the second incident. The third incident happened when I moved out. A year ago, I decided to move out of my mom's, and I was home alone all the time now. So obviously, sleep paralysis, knocking on my door. This time I didn't see anything, but I did hear and feel really creepy things. So I was on my side, and behind me, again, I woke up. This time it wasn't in the middle of the night though. This time it was during the morning, so when you're supposed to actually wake up, and I actually couldn't wake up. I was just paralyzed in my sleep. So I was sleeping on my side, and behind me I can hear, like, very subtle footsteps, because I have carpets in here in my room, and I could hear the very subtle footsteps behind me. And again, can't move, and I'm trying so hard, like, to turn around. Who is it? Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Cannot turn my body. And the next thing I hear is, like, I don't know what it was. It was like plastic bags or like paper bags, some kind of bag just making noise, like right behind like my back. I was like, okay, interesting way to kill someone. Put a plastic bag over their head. I guess no one would hear, the neighbors wouldn't hear me. So I'm thinking, okay, like I have the understanding of sleep paralysis, this is what I'm going through, it's fine, it's fake, and I'm trying to like get myself out of it by thinking like I'm good, this is not real, this is not real, until I feel minus the head movement. I couldn't move my head. But I literally felt like a hand on my back, on my shoulder blade, and I just make it worse for myself, because then it's like, okay, maybe this isn't sleep paralysis. Maybe I'm actually gonna get killed this time. Maybe it's just a mind game the whole time, trying to get out of it.
Pause. For some reason I forgot to conclude this story, but everything just went away. I stopped hearing and feeling things, and I woke up and went on about my day.
I don't know how long they each lasted, each of the incidents, but it just feels like forever and a day when they're happening, because it's just so scary that you get so caught up in your emotions. There's a million things running through your head, and there's nothing you can do. You cannot move, you cannot react, you cannot defend yourself. There's nothing you can do except hope for the best and wait for it to be over. Thankfully, I have not had sleep paralysis in over a year now, so I'm so happy for that. I hope it stays that way. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any sleep paralysis story. I would love to hear them and see if anyone can relate or what can help someone, because I don't personally know how to prevent it or like what causes it or anything. So if you have any tips for me, that would be great, and to leave them down in the comments would be even better. Also, give this video a like if you like story times, and subscribe if you haven't already, because it's free. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.